Welcome to No Party with B and J, a show for the sensible thinkers. Okay, we're going to hit in Brenda's wheelhouse today. We are talking 5th District, Gallatin, Tennessee, pros and cons of new developments, condos, liquor stores, physical and mental health, and maybe even more. Brenda, you call the 5th District home. What are your takes on what is needed and what the city is looking to put in place here?
I'm gonna see what is needed for the neighborhood is education. Uh, in this community, we don't get a lot of the jobs, the six-figure jobs. Um, really, let's hypothetically say that each individual makes $1,000. We're gonna go with that number. Uh, Even if we say they make $1,000 a week, that is still under $50,000 for the whole year. So this district needs some more education so that they can get better jobs. And then too, the city is not this city is not giving a lot of jobs. I'm gonna say to black and brown, those six-figure jobs.
Well, the main jobs that are available in the area right now are factories and fast food, putting the medium income under 50,000 around 48,000, while Gallatin's medium income is closer to 75,000 in the 73.5 range. So when the city's looking at everything, they are putting that figure along with the North Side's figure. So when they're trying to put in liquor stores, they're trying to put in condos, are they really looking in depth at what the people need and how much they're earning?
I'm gonna say they are, but they're going to buy the medium for all of Sumner County. And what I'm gonna say, those numbers are not correct for I'm gonna say the Thompson Park area and Clearview Park area. Those numbers are about $20,000 to $30,000 less than that. So when you are putting those new communities in the neighborhood, you actually are pushing those citizens that have been living in those neighborhoods out because they can afford those things.
That's the absolute scariest thing to me. The North Side has its own feel. It's got the people in the community that have been there a long time, that have built it, that's built on the home's family values. When you bring in condos specifically that they cannot afford, who is going to be able to afford those? It's going to be people from California that are either buying them and renting them out, or it's going to be wealthier people moving in and making the people who live here move out. How do we put some sort of control on that? Or Pascal Javance tried to bring this up in a city council meeting and was shot down by Paige Brown. Why do you think she didn't want his voice heard and the pictures that he had to show how it would affect the 5th District?
The reason that was given is because he didn't show that before, and they have this thing where you can't. But right now, he has a court case, and hopefully, uh, I'm I'm leaning towards him getting that case because we need to rethink those condos coming to the area. Not to say that those condos shouldn't be coming to the area, but it's not going to fit the community of the area. We need some other things in place with that.
Well, they can't be afforded right now with the money that's in place that people are have the income that's in place.
You're correct. Because for one, they don't have those six-figure jobs. They can only afford, I'm gonna say a house range no more than probably $125,000. And I'm gonna put the statistics up of that later on what is the medium for the area that they're not looking at and how that those things are going to hurt us more than help us.
Okay, last night it was discussed putting in a liquor store, 200 West Broadway, where the former H.G. Hills was located.
That's correct.
That was voted against, or they're not moving forward with that due to the fact that you can't have a liquor store in Gallatin zoned with the zoning rules 1 mile away from the current liquor store, which is Broadway Liquors.
Yeah. A lot of people in the community spoke on that, and they spoke that they didn't want the liquor store. But what they were exactly meaning on is that they had set up a rule that no liquor store should be within a mile of each other. Well, we would have, I think that just wouldn't help because we already have that zoning law for the 1 mile, and I think that's sufficient. I didn't feel like we needed to change that to fit a business into that community. And for one, we've had liquor stores in the community before, and it did not help, and we did not prosper from those. And we had a lot of alcoholics that hung out on the corner. It's just not beneficial. Not to say that it might not be beneficial later, but we need things that's going to be more beneficial to the people that live in this neighborhood. And then those things can come a little later. But right now, I feel like we need to concentrate on getting education on financial literacy so that they can begin to learn what to do with their money, so they can begin to lean more towards six figures. Right now, they're not doing that. And what that's going to do is going to push them to higher rent. It's going to push to drug selling, because you're going to have to find something to implement that income.
If you have a base income between $30,000 and $50,000, everybody's got kids, everybody's got families. You have to support those things. So that's where a secondary business, drug dealing, washing cars, it could be anything, but you have to have a passive income in this area.
Yeah, that's where a lot of crime comes into play, because I'm going to say, maybe some of the other cultures may not deal with that, but in this community, we're not leaning towards those figures that the city is saying that we make. And then, like I said, if you look around the city, you're not seeing them in those jobs. We even got Clearview Park that's getting built over here. We have people that do concrete. We have people that do other things in our community, but they're not getting those contracts either. They're not getting those contracts with the city. We have people that mow grass. They're not getting those contracts, so they're not getting the same money as other people are in the community.
So it sounds to me like you're saying the city needs to take a look specifically at the 5th district. What are the people good at in the 5th district? How can you make them prosperous by doing what they're good at in their own community? You don't need to bring in an outside liquor store. You don't need to bring in new condos when there are other ways that the people using the skills that they already have could be developed to have a better life.
Well, we got houses that are all already over here, and they can't afford those houses.
What about just doing a makeover on some of these houses with so many of the local guys that are good carpenters? There are a lot of ways that you could put the skills into place that the local community has to make the neighborhood a better place. Another thing that's not talked about enough within this area is mental and physical health. There are almost zero outlets for mental or physical health right here in the 5th district. There's not a weight room you can go to. There's not a physical fitness that is a inexpensive way. Now, over on Thompson Park, you do have First Baptist Church. For $2, you can go in there.
Correct.
5 days a week and at least push yourself mentally, physically, and have an outlet.
Yeah.
Clearview Park, where you're getting the new building, is there going to be a weight room or any sort of physical fitness there? Or is the Shalom Zone doing that with the big renovation to their gym? Or are people just not going to address the fact that this area needs more mental and physical outlets?
It does need more mental and physical outlets. I don't know what all amenities that they're going to have in there, but I know it's not big enough for a gym. I think the gym for Shalom Zone is going to have to take place. Hopefully, that's going to be open some hours that people in this neighborhood can get to it. Right now, it's a lot of I don't know, and that's just because I just do not know. But what I'm saying is we need to be able to have something that's going to up these incomes. And if we don't up those incomes, the things that they're trying to put over here is not going to help this neighborhood. It's going to take the crime rate up, because, like I say, they want their kids to have shoes. They want their kids to have school. They want them to have the best clothes. They want all that too. But when you're not getting those incomes, and you're going and you're putting these applications in, and they're just not hiring you, and then, like I said, we have jobs that where things are being built in the city. We should have some minorities getting some of that stuff, so that they can maybe hire some people, so they can start leaning towards getting those jobs and making that money. That would cut out a lot of, I'm going to say, the illegal stuff that goes on. Until then, you're going to have that, because they want to feed their kids.
Everybody has to get the income that their family needs. The way they get it can vary. When it varies, it can lead towards dark paths, or at least stereotypes. There are so many stereotypes. Just as many people that live over in Fairview smoke marijuana, do drugs, than the people that live here in the 5th district.
Oh, that's done everywhere.
That is
It's
not a
done.
5th district problem.
It's not a 5th district problem. That's a problem, period. But what does happen, I think in the more underserved areas, you see more policing.
More people are arrested in this area for the
You see
same
more
thing they're
policing
doing.
in those areas because they feel like that is there. But that happens in the Green Hills area. You can't act like drugs just happen to the underserved. It happens everywhere. But they're not policed as much. They're not stopped as much.
Sure. Okay, let's jump into the liquor store just because it was just done last night.
Yeah.
200 West Broadway. That was an original Kroger. It was a Piggly Wiggly. It was a H.G. Hills.
Is that a Kroger?
Original. It was one of the first Krogers ever back in the 70s.
I don't remember that.
I do not either, but I was told by Greg Johnson, the head of the American Legion, he was the manager when it was.
Okay.
But point being, it's been a grocery store. The community needs a grocery store, or the community needs something that provides jobs
It does.
within the district, but also an outlet for people. It could be a restaurant. It could be, or what are your ideas for it? Because you're not against liquor.
No, I wasn't against the liquor. What I was against is changing the zone to fit a liquor
To
store
cater
there.
to a liquor store
Yeah,
owner.
I wasn't for
Or it
that.
sounds like you're against changing the zoning for any business who just wants to be a successful business.
Yeah. We need to keep the zoning. If it's already in place, you need to just follow the rules. I'm not opposed having liquor. A restaurant could go there, and the restaurant could serve liquor. We don't really have a nice restaurant in this area, so if it was a nice sit-down restaurant, that would work. We don't have a clothing store in this area that sells maybe modern clothes. That would work in this area. And a grocery store, an affordable grocery store, something like a Cash Savers type grocery store. Like they have Save-A-Lot on the other side of town.
Right.
In the Thompson Park area. And that is a little cheaper food. I mean, we can't afford in this area a lot of the higher prices. I'm going to say the grocery store didn't make it before because it was too expensive. They even had a half off and it was still too expensive. You're going to have to put some affordable food in this area. And not because we're trying to get out. It's because that's the money that's made in this area.
The money that's made in this area needs to be spent in this area, and the jobs need to be implemented from the people that live in this area.
Yeah. And if they brought any of those things, then that will open up some jobs. Hopefully, we will be able to get some of those jobs. We need something in the area that's going to give us jobs.
So jobs and opportunities are two things that need to be very much looked at by the council, by the leaders of Gallatin, to try to get this community on a more even keel playing field with the other districts in the area.
Yeah, once we get some more things that we can afford in the area, and once we get some things, some money, some jobs to make better money, then and some education on what to do once they're making that money, I see Gallatin growing in ways that it wouldn't grow before. And it wouldn't be so bad about the area. But if you're saying you're trying to help the area, you're going to have to help them there first.
So you've got to start somewhere. A healthier, happier, more heartfelt place is easily done, but you've got to take the steps to do it. You can't be blindsided with condos and the liquor store. And then people start arguing about those two things and not looking at the big picture of what is the voice in the community? What do they want? What do they need? And that's what you're trying to address.
Yeah, because we already have Nexus that has built in this community, which has already taken the houses in this community up. And what people may not realize, that goes all the way out to Red River, which makes that the 5th district also, which kind of begins to outnumber us from the outside. And now the condos are coming on the inside. So that's gradually going to push.
Well, the full perimeter from Red River, 109, Albert, Gallatin is becoming elite $300,000 to $500,000 homes. You would have to have that income of almost $100,000 to be able to afford anywhere on the perimeter of the 5th district.
Correct. And I'm a homeowner here in this district, and I receive a postcard, phone calls, text every day for somebody to purchase my house. And what I'm going to say to the people that are homeowners in this district, do not sell your house.
Okay. And do you think they're providing a fair value to you when they're giving you offers?
No,
Are they trying to lowball you to get you out of the community so that they can bring in somebody else?
they are lowballing the offer. I have even heard when they come out and they do a what is it when they do appraisal, they're not giving you a higher appraisal for your house, and then what happens is you're selling it at a cheaper price, and then there is stuff built like 7 houses up at Shalom Zone, which takes the market up. Nobody in this neighborhood is going to be able to afford those houses.
Even the houses that are going up directly on Pemberton by the Shalom Zone, you look at the property values of those homes.
Yeah.
It might be 100,000, 75,000, 100,000, 125, 400.
Yes.
They're putting in $400,000 houses right there.
$500,000.
It's not changing the price of the homes around it. And in every other community in the world, in the United States, the home values adjust based on the price of the home that's next to it.
Well, my value has went up. I'm not going to say that. The value is up, but that's not the value that cash buyers are offering. And I'm going to tell you, they really got really slick with it, Justin. I have also received checks. They'll send a check. I've gotten a check that said $195,000 on it. And once I cashed the
That'll
check,
make your heart jump.
well, if you're having a money issue,
If
you're
your
gonna
income's
cash that check.
$50,000 or less and somebody puts $200,000 in front of you,
You're going to take it.
you're going to take it.
You're going to take it.
And you're going to be out of that money in 4 years.
You're going to take
You'll
that.
be homeless.
You're going to take that, and you're going to be homeless, and you're not going to be able to afford to go into nothing else. And that person that has bought that house actually is going to turn around and create $1 million property, because you take up there where we're talking about at Shalom Zone, they took that property. Now that property is worth millions now by them building those houses.
What I don't understand, and it could be just that I have a happy-go-lucky, why doesn't the city take what it has, the charm, the authenticity of the 5th District, and make it blossom? Instead of trying to come in and change it, they're trying to change the field. They're trying to change the people who live here, as opposed to going in and helping the people who live here to prosper and have a better community. When you did the Juneteenth event, that was a very welcoming, a very community-based event that the Black community came out to support each other.
Well, I'm going to say it's not exactly the city. It's not exactly the city, because they can't tell people that they can't buy the property. All they do is they if it's
Now, what about the
code,
rezoning?
The rezoning. That's because the people that are buying the property are asking for that, just like Cam did. He asked for the zoning to be changed.
Sure.
So it also depends on us educating, like I said, the neighborhood. And
okay, when you say educate the neighborhood, where does that even start?
First of all, not selling your property, maybe going and educating yourself and getting jobs, like jobs in HVAC, jobs in electrical. Every school is not for everybody, but they can get some technical education. Maybe us getting them in some technical, some on-the-job training that they can get, so that they can afford, or a credit repair. They need credit repair. Then after you get credit repair, you need the financial literacy to know what to do once you get that credit repair. Then after that, I'm going to say working together, because if I don't have good credit and you have a little money, then we need to partner up. And then we come back and we buy the properties in our own neighborhood, or we don't sell and we go get the money on the house. Like I said, I have, and I'm not afraid to say it, I probably have a couple $100,000 equity on my property. I can turn around and take that money, go purchase another property, purchase land, and then start to build out, because real estate is what's going to grow. So if they can learn to start taking, even when I see people come through, because I'm a tax preparer, I see people come through, and I see some of those ladies that get $10,000, $15,000. But the thing is, they don't know what to do with the money when they get it. You may get new furniture, a new car, which other things need to happen. We need to learn how to help ourselves. With those things, they need to maybe start investing and that is in maybe investing in stocks and bonds, saving money. Insurance is another way that you can get that insurance on something and maybe borrow against the insurance or start your side hustle and then learn to how to get that and turn it into business credit. So if the city is not giving you those jobs, you don't have to really rely on those jobs. You're kind of helping yourself. And then that's going to turn around and you're going to be able to help somebody in the community get a job. And then we can
Absolutely.
start affording those things. And those are the things that we need in this community. This, and then we can afford the liquor stores and the condos later. Now, I'm not saying no, I'm saying later.
Later, once the money is in there, once the education is there, then it's time to look at it and make a change.
Yeah.
Until the education, until the money is in the pockets of the community members, you're just putting stuff in place that's not needed.
Where you're putting stuff in place that are going to push people out.
That's the scariest part, that you could actually push the people out, the locals who've lived here 50, 70 years, that they just couldn't afford it anymore.
And I'm going to say that this was deemed the side for Black people to live. And what I'm going to say is the house that I live in was my grandparents' house. And when I bought my grandparents' house at auction, on my deed, and it said that this land could only be occupied by colored on the
Really?
deed.
How long does that go back in history?
It was in the 40s. I think this house was built in the 40s. My grandparents were sharecroppers.
Okay, and this could be my own stupidity. What does that mean for all the other houses in the surrounding area of yours or here in the 5th District? Would that be on the deeds of all the houses?
I'm gonna say with certain areas here that were deemed that only Black people could live inside the city, or you had to live in the country. My other parents, grandparents, they were on Douglas Lane. They lived in the country, so you were either okay to live in the country, and I'm gonna say back then, even to live in the country, my grandparents was, I'm gonna say, kind of well off. I never knew we were broke. My parents were well off. They were able to purchase homes, but even on Douglas Lane, it was only 2 Black families that lived on Douglas Lane, and that was us and a group that lived next door to us.
Wow. Okay, so education starts. Where does that education start? Clearview Park has Friends of Clearview Park, which you run. Their Shalom Zone has the Shalom Zone. What is the next step to actually put action behind the words and behind the words of education to actually put the classes into place and to actually make a positive change for the people who need it?
Well, I'm not just talking about things we needing. Those things are actually being worked on and being put in place as we speak. We got a couple of organizations that are here. NAACP, I'm going to say is one of them. And I can say that because I am a member of the NAACP. A lot of the things that I talked about as far as education are being worked on for us to help this community, and not just this community, the ones that are underserved of all cultures. Because like I said, we don't want to leave the people in this community behind. And what I feel, speaking personally, that we in school, it talks about no kid left behind. It should be no underserved left behind also, because what I feel like is happening, they're getting left behind, and not just left behind, but left behind, pushed out to the point that liquor stores is going to be a thing because they don't have money to afford anything else. And that goes back to the mental state, to where they're leaning more towards drug abuse.
Drugs and
Stuff like
alcohol
that.
and mental health just do not go well together. Anybody who's been through a mental health struggle knows that one of the easiest outlets is alcohol or drugs. It's also one of the worst things that you could possibly do in any mental health crisis. What do you think can be done to give a more positive, uplifting feel for the mental health and the physical health for the people within the 5th District?
Like I said, it's gonna have to be some type of outlets. They got to feel good about themselves, feel like they're gonna be able to get a job, and feel like, I know a lot of people will say, well, they can just get up. It's hard to get up when you've been continuously pushed down.
When you feel like you don't have the same opportunities as other people within your county,
Well, it's not an even
it's
playing field.
depressing. We're not mentioning the word depression. Lots of Black people don't like to mention the word depression because it makes you feel less than other people when you feel depressed. You don't have the confidence. You don't have the self-worth. How can we tackle that along with all the other issues that are going along here?
I'm gonna say mental health is not at the top of the Black culture's list. What's at the top of the list is a job, trying to make money, and take care of your kids. So a lot of things that may be at the top of a lot of other people's list is not at the top of the Black culture list because we have been suppressed for so long on getting jobs. We have a through the breakthrough. I had a successful business. I was able to buy a house, but also I came from a family that I knew those were things to do. You have a lot of people in this community that have not been homeowners.
What about something you'll mention? You had support.
Yes.
From your family,
Yes.
from friends, from the community. What about just getting more support here for any of these small business owners? A lot of the people within the Black community have what we call side hustles, whether it's baking cookies, mowing yards, clothes, anything. The Juneteenth event's a good example. I'll keep coming back to it because so many people got to go share what they do for their side hustle.
Correct.
How could we exploit the side hustles or exploit the hustle in general of the Black culture? Is not scared to hustle. They are not scared to go and work hard, put their pants on every day and work hard for their families. But they're only working hard to reach that $50,000 plateau. We've got to have that education and everything else in place. So all the hard work is just as fruitful as somebody who's selling insurance or a lawyer or a doctor, but they're not having the same opportunities right now.
We need a lot more positive things going on in the community. That's one thing. We need more things happening in this community. Back when I was coming up, as I'm gonna say, I didn't have to go across the tracks. Everything was here.
It was a different feel on this side.
People got along better. It was more smiling, more things to do. It was clubs to go to. We had grocery stores on this side. We had gas stations on this side.
What changed?
Exactly. Well, drugs, for one thing, started coming to the community a lot more. And I'm going to say crack cocaine came through. A lot of people fell from grace.
So that change, I agree with you 100%. That really changed the culture, especially the police here policing this area to try to get the drugs out, which they did, but they never brought back the feel of the community.
And I'm going to say we lost a lot of important people in the community that were the matriarchs. And what they didn't do, they didn't pass that on to be able to carry on the tradition. A lot of those people fell off and we just didn't have those people to step in their place.
Do you feel like hope was lost? Let's say the 70-year-old that was kind of had it together. They were owning businesses. They were putting properties here. They were supporting their families. The crack cocaine, the drugs came in. And now there was almost a 20-year period there for the people who were between about 40 and 60 years old where they didn't have the opportunities anymore. And suddenly the neighborhood was not thriving anymore. And they didn't have anywhere to go and they felt stuck.
Well, for that too, the jobs, because all those things that were here, jobs were plentiful within the neighborhood. They started losing those jobs. And so you have some people, like I said, I'm not saying everybody, and I don't want to put everybody in that same box, but I'm going to say the majority of the people over here are making less than $50,000. And you got some that are making zilch. So a lot of those benefits, them being cut, they were relying on a lot of that stuff. So I'm like I say, it's just getting harder and harder to make it. It's hard to be able to make that money, to maybe open some of those things up in this area. And because of those things that are coming in the housing market, it's taking the buildings over here much more expensive.
Sure. One other thing that's kind of put in place, that the government assistance, when the government came in and would provide assistance for housing, for food, for clothing, do you think that put a cap or a limit on what people thought that they could do? Where if they can get this $2,000 a month, it puts a ceiling on where they actually think they can go. They don't see that they can get to 100,000 because they're capped at such a low level and given the basic needs, but no more.
I'm going to say, uh, even them shooting for the 50,000, that's probably twice as much as your normal person may make over here. So, I mean, if you're shooting for 50, I mean, 100, I mean, how, I'm going to say how they're going to get it here. You're going to have to be self-employed and have a thriving business in order to make that as a Black person here. You don't have a lot of people in this area that even have the resources, because like I'm saying, the only jobs that they're getting is fast food and factory. And as long as that is the jobs that they're getting, that is out of reach. And that's why I said the education and helping them push towards getting those 6 figures. It's not that they're not able to. I'm gonna say, and I'm not calling anybody uneducated. You need to know the process and the steps and the education about money to make those. Because if you're getting $10,000 back on your tax return, you can take that and you can begin to fix your credit. Then you educate yourself on how money works. And then guess what? You got a down payment to make on a house. Or you got a business now that you can start that's going to take you towards those 6 figures. You got a building on this side of town. Now you can go and you can rent that. I just think it's they kind of have got out of school and they have got complacent. And and I'm gonna say I'm guilty too. Did not see it. I had a job. Now my eyes are wide open. I need to help educate. So I am in the process of getting programs together to help educate, to help move towards this 6 figure. Even Dr. Langford came out and he spoke on stuff that's happening to keep our kids, because it need to start there. If he can help the kids, then we can start helping the adults, and then I feel like we can move forward a lot quicker.
I'm 100% agreeing with you. Everything's got to start with education, whether it's educating the kids, it's educating the adults. It's letting people know that there is another way to get to the 100,000. There is another way to be successful.
Yeah.
But they need to see it in the community. Unless you see somebody from right here being successful, starting from ground zero and making it, then it's not going to roll the dice and keep it going. You've got to keep it going. And that's what we're here for, to let people know that there is another way, that there's a sensible way to think about money. There's a sensible way to think about education, that we can help people, that we can provide the voice, the things that they need, the things that they want. If they don't want a liquor store, we can provide that. If they want condos or don't want condos is not the point. It's looking at what they actually need.
What they can afford.
And what they can afford.
Yeah.
And putting that here so everybody can thrive.
Yeah.
We want everybody to thrive, whether it's here on the north side or anywhere else within Sumner County.
Yeah. And like I said, somebody's going to have to learn to do the math, because the math ain't mathing.
The math is not mathing, or it's only adding up to the numbers that they want to project so that they can fulfill their agenda.
That is correct. I'm not saying that
you can make numbers look like whatever you want to make them look like to fulfill your agenda. And that's what's going on, as opposed to making it about the agenda of the people in the district.
Well, we need houses built for the median prices of the area. I'm not saying don't come build, but we need them to be the median prices for the area
that people can afford and enjoy.
Yeah, because
the worst thing you want to do is buy a house you can't afford, and then you're underwater forever.
Well, when you going to see it? Because you're going to be working yourself to death to pay for it.
Yeah.
So are you going to really enjoy it? And what I'm going to say is us starting to get some of those contracts, those city contracts. We need people of other ethnicity to start getting some contracts. We need to spread that out. We need to let them know when those things are coming open. We need to educate them on how they need to be able to get those contracts. We need to spread the love.
The city needs to look within the city limits for everything that everybody is good at and let them prosper.
Yeah, I mean, but in doing that, you're going to help the whole entire city out because it's going to bring the crime rate down because these people have jobs, they have something to do. It's going to bring people graduating from school. You got people to go to artificial. It's going to bring that down.
Yeah.
You're going to have parents that can do more stuff with their children. It's going to help a lot. It just will. And I'm for helping the whole entire community, not for people that just have the dollars. And they can have the dollars too, but I'm gonna say they need some to get some of those advantages.
Well, it all starts with education. It all starts with sensible thought, and no party with B and J is here for the sensible thinkers. So it's been a good show. Brenda, I'm Justin. We'll see you on the other side.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? It's the sensible thinkers. Brenda and Justin, we're the real seekers. Diving deep like an anchor's chain. Bringing truth to the table, breaking every chain. Tune in. No need for any mask. We tackling real issues, now that's the task. No parties, no games, just facts on the scene. Illuminate the dark like a laser beam. We leveling up with every single phrase. Critical thinking in this twisted maze. Jetting through the noise, filtering the lies. We here to serve knowledge beneath these skies. Thoughtful discussion, that's our creed. Sensible minds planting the seed. Real talk,